Hello and welcome back to I and Dinos Play Batman the Telltale series. This is part 3 of episode 1, Realm of Shadows. Our story picks up back at Wayne Manor.
I'm afraid we can't, Mr. Wayne.
So Mike, whoa, is he floating? Oh, he's coming downstairs, that's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Jim. Jim.
You're making a mistake.
Did you like the whole Jim Gordon moustache in Gotham?
I loved it. You know I love Gotham. I have a soft spot for everything that did. It was just entertaining as fuck. It was fun. It was nonsense. Hugo goddamn Strange was in it. He's one of my favourite bad guys of all time. My top 10... Probably my top 3 favourite Batman bad guys include Hugo Strange. And my top 10 includes Killer Moth, who was sadly lacking, once again, from Gotham.
He followed the light.
Who authorised this?
Why would you have a moth in the dark city? You'd go for he'd go next door. You follow the lamp.
He's the world's greatest supervillain. It's only a matter of time before the universe understands his greatness.
If they would actually stop rebooting Batman all the time, I'm sure we get to him at some point. You got to go Joker, Riddler, Penguin, Catwoman, Two-Face, Scarecrow. Falcone gets in before bloody what's his face.
Hey, we've had no less than 3 live-action Victor Zazzes.
No less. Well, there's one in Gotham.
Yep.
I'm assuming there's one in the Nolan trilogy.
Batman Begins, yes.
Don't remember that one. I remember the film. I don't remember him.
He's a smaller part.
Okay.
But he is in there.
I haven't seen that film for ages.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, I watched it quite a few times. But I'm blessed with the terrible memory of films that I can watch them again and again and go, oh yeah, I didn't remember that.
He's also in Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
Haven't seen that either.
It's pretty fucking fun. I really enjoyed it.
Better than Sonic? Different films for different...
I think I enjoyed Birds of Prey more than the movie. I think it's a better movie, but I enjoyed them equally because, dear God, the nostalgia pop I was getting from fucking...
Oh,
that's a decent Batman image. That's what it should be. No, you should look angry. Oh, for God's sakes.
I think he's got his brightness turned up too high on his laptop.
But, yeah, I enjoyed them equally because, Jesus Christ, Sonic was fun.
I'm pleased they had 3 tickets there, but it irked me a bit when they only had 2 earlier. I thought he would have kept his own ticket.
Oh, yeah. You are the kind of prick who would demand a child has an adult ticket.
No, you can.
There's nothing on any of those tickets that said child fare. They had to pay full price for their little boy on the day of their murder.
Well, he was over 14. I know you're going to say he's younger, but he had to pretend to be younger to get into the film.
I'm busy right now.
I'm just going to ask, who's that? Is that the report woman?
That's Vicky Vale.
Vicky Vale, okay. She's nothing like Kim Basinger. Or Basinger. Or Basinger.
Now, Kim Basinger looked very little.
Kim Basinger?
She didn't have the right hair for Vicky Vale. So everything else was pretty much fine because... what's your angle? I'm playing this a little differently to the first time around because... I shouldn't really be doing this, but I am. I'm trying to play this canonically accurate. But I was playing it the first time around. This is what a fucking nut I am. The first time around, I was playing this with the intent that she is one of Batman's certainly recurring love interests. So I played it with Bruce as though he was
Flirty man.
That he was going to be nice to her as a potential romantic interest. Huh? Even though I don't consider her even in the top 5 best romantic interests. That's how I played it the first time. This time I'm playing it more as Jesus, that is one nice ass on Bruce. Sorry. I was slightly mesmerised by his magnificent cheeks there.
I was actually looking at
this time I'm playing it more along the lines of modern day Batman.
Give a quote.
No.
Quote Shakespeare or something.
Because this person is probably trying to betray me to the media. Bruce doesn't let people in.
Vicky will remember that.
Vicky will remember that.
Oh, scowly face.
Yeah.
Mr. Napier, goodbye.
The Waynes always come out on top.
So my question for you was, what are the names of the Grayson parents? Mr. and Mrs. Grayson?
Richard and Mary.
Ooh. See, I knew there was a Richard somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Richard and Mary, because he's Richard Grayson.
And he called his son Dick?
No. Dick Grayson's name is Richard.
So what's his dad's name?
Richard.
Well, that's what I was getting at. That he's called his. I do not agree with parents calling their kids the same name as them.
Well,
working on a system in a local town where we have a computer-based system where people come and get the medication, and they go, "I'm here for my medication." And they say their name, and you go, "Can you confirm your address?" And they confirm their address. It's the same fucking address for two different people at the same address. So you give them the wrong medication. You've got to go date of birth. It's like a 15-step process to give them the right medication. It's your fault. People who name your kids that stuff. You're the one why everyone takes 4 hours to get served.
Robin wasn't created.
He was made in a vat of robins.
2020.
He was made in the back of a Robin Reliant.
He first appeared in a comic in 1940, so he was presumably created sometime before that.
What the hell's going on?
Before medicine?
The fuck is this?
Yeah.
Don't you know? Well, so you don't know.
Making another scene, shall we? The press is already up my ass as it is.
That's the Gotham City Bank, in case you're confusing it with the Metropolis Bank.
Authorized this? Yeah. Then the cops raid my house, taking everything related to Wayne Enterprises. Computers, hard drives.
I don't think this leans enough on trying to preserve. I understand the way it goes, but I think this early on it should have lent much more on Bruce trying to
yes, I'd
preserve his parents' name.
Oh, definitely. You can't ever get rid of the name Wayne.
His parents, well, it's not the name Wayne. It's his parents are essentially just these holy figures to him. They're this perfect. He understands they had flaws, but they're these perfect people who he will do absolutely anything to canonize, almost. So I don't like the fact that he's not. The options don't play out. That he's not more upset, frustrated about this because of his parents' name, dragging his parents' name through the mud rather than thing. Regardless of where the story actually goes, it's it just doesn't quite ring true.
Do it myself. Yeah.
Okay.
My sister used to say that a lot. That was one of her catchphrases as a kid. Do it myself. Mine was more tea. Well, who's that?
Hey, it's clearly Catwoman.
Why? Because you're wearing black and
because you can see most of her face as Catwoman, and also she's got a black eye from where I punched her in the face when she was Catwoman.
It's also roughly in the shape of the glasses she was wearing.
Fortunately, both of them immediately gone, "Holy shit, you're that dude! Holy shit, you're that woman!"
I'm Bruce Wayne.
So you are.
So I like that. It's more of a modern thing. Like back in the day, when Ra's al Ghul, for example, would show up, you'd be like, "Oh, what the fuck is this guy going to do?" Because he's one of the 3 people in the world who know Bruce Wayne is Batman. So the possibilities are basically endless. These days, it's an awful lot more casual as to who does and doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Things.
I didn't like it with Spider-Man. I don't like it with the Batman films. Stop just immediately saying I've dated you for half an hour. Know who I am.
Unfortunately, it was, I'd say it's the Batman films, the Tim Burton Batman films, and then on, that popularised the trope of that always happened in the movie.
It's not your fault.
I can't think of the last time I saw a film with Catwoman in where... Oh, no, I can. It was the Batman Returns, where he didn't know who she was for quite a while.
Yeah.
And then she says that quote back to him, whatever it is, or he says...
He does it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
She starts it, and then he finishes it, and it's really cute. That's a great moment. That's very well done.
They'll understand.
You'll find another client.
Sean does not agree with my choices.
I don't know.
Not all of us were born with trust funds and multi-billion-dollar corporations.
It's not a nice model. These games...
I'm more concerned with that teacup. What's going on there? Shadows all over the place.
It's bad. Considering how much they spent on the license and how much they knew they'd get back from making something like this. You'd think they'd put in a bit more effort.
Do you think they made money back?
I don't think this is a nice-looking game. Oh, definitely.
Because they spent out a lot of different licenses in a very short period of time.
Yeah, that's because they're idiots, or the people running it were idiots.
Well, they
didn't
Dead,
wait
Batman,
for the profit of the last
Us,
thing to come in before they'd spent a ton of money on
Game of
another
Thrones.
license. And they really they made really bizarre things, like they partnered with Marvel and did a fucking Guardians of the Galaxy one.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Who was screaming out for a Guardians of... Like, the Avengers are right there. Spider-Man is right there. There's so much stuff that's right there. I understand you can get your creative juices...
I imagine Marvel wanted to make the Avengers game. Or they already sold it to... I don't know, whoever does it. EA? Who makes that game? I don't know.
No. It was just an odd choice, considering where they'd made their money, where they knew their strengths were. Sorry about the eye.
Oh, so he knows who she is then.
They both know. They both immediately knew who each other was. That's why I was saying about the fluid identities.
Well, I don't know about the fluid.
I'm playing this a little more fast and loose than I normally would.
Big is that
with being
freaking mug.
rock solid canon. Sorry, I based this. My original plan was to do this 100% as close as possible. There's so few options that would be the correct ones that I'm just going Maverick now.
That's why you just choose why.
How disappointing.
Because Batman would just stay deadly silent.
You have something that belongs to me.
I keep looking at that graffiti behind him and reading Shmee.
It says Jamie. Jamie. Who hired you? That's what Batman would say.
He's always trying to get the scoop.
He's
Oh
not.
no, that's Clark Kent. Sorry.
No.
It's
You're
the scoop of
Ice
villain.
Cream Man.
Oh no, it's the scoop.
If I fail to deliver that drive, it's going to cost a lot more than money.
Well, looks like you've made your bed.
Do you ever use an ice cream scoop with mash?
And I'm not going to lie in it.
No, but I don't have MASH.
Oh, well, that's probably a good reason not to do that.
There will be consequences.
I used to do that in a restaurant I used to work in.
I don't like.
And I used it at home, and someone who I used to live with went,
You got it. What can I
you don't use a...
You can give me back the drive.
No. No ice cream scoops with mash. It's not right. They
don't
also
see
didn't
it.
like the look of it, because perfectly formed mash into little scoops was just wrong to them.
No, that's what you get in a lot of restaurants. I don't think they... Well, probably do use an ice cream scoop.
But it's called mash, so I suppose mash should be mash.
No, it's already mashed. The process of... You need to trust me, that'll do. The process of getting it into a state in which you could scooping, that's the mashing it. That's when the potato is mashed.
Look at that mug! Look at the size of that mug! It's bigger than a head. Sorry.
Listen, this Bruce Wayne is a heavy drinker.
I keep thinking it's
going with the Archer parallel.
I keep thinking it's perspective, but it's not perspective. It's a massive mug.
No, it's not a very well made game. It looks like shit half the time. And then you've got a model like Harvey Dent that is just really good.
I bet this restaurant
looks
doesn't.
better than Bruce's.
This restaurant will not do
Penguins
refills.
looks better than Bruce's as well.
Well, they probably think they can cover up Bruce's face most of the time. They probably designed him around the chin. And then thought, well, we'll just fill it. Once we got rid of the mask, we'll just fill in the rest
of it.
Yeah.
Got another appointment, and I really don't want to be late for it.
Oh, all right then.
Bye, Selena.
Nice ass, Bruce.
Oh,
I'm Batman.
he's just saying that to himself, is he?
Yeah.
Gotham Docks, warehouse 123. Don't screw it up.
See, I definitely did that well enough that she gave me the information. Andor was going to do it anyway because choices mean nothing in this game. I'm not sure which way around
I
it is.
choose to believe they mean something. So have you ever played any other games then? You played, like, where choices matter or don't matter? Or you think they matter but they don't matter? Like, everyone had to go at Mass Effect. Well, not everyone. A lot of people. Because supposedly so many choices, which I would argue did make a difference to your journey to the end. However, it all came down to like one of three things, didn't it, at the end?
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Two things about Mass Effect 3.
I didn't play it.
One,
so yeah.
It is a near fucking perfect game. Fight me. And two...
There's no need for that.
Two, people always say, oh, it's not a good ending. The entire game is the ending. Yes, there is a weird little cut that leaves almost on a cliffhanger, which is a bit strange, where the crew in the Normandy crash lands. But I don't really feel that is enough to call that in any way a bad game. I love that game, and I think it's almost perfect, and is pretty much the perfect send-off. I understand the complaints that your choices don't really matter, especially with one character that returns in the last one. But as Jason said, it's the journey. Your choices inform the journey that your character is on, rather than very specifically, oh, this makes the thing happen later. I can understand to a degree people's concern about it, but the bottom line is, if you thought they were making a game where every choice you made went off into branching plots throughout the rest of the games, you don't know how the technology for those games at least worked, because it was not up to that. They'd have had to make, by the end of it, they'd have had to make 50 completely separate games put on that one disc just to cover all of your choices. Wow. It was nice. You got to choose who you were going to bone. You occasionally got to make a good guy or a bad guy kind of choice, which was quite fun. Ultimately, it led to additional dialogue options. Like, one of my favourite things about the first Mass Effect, I love the first Mass Effect. I think it's possibly the best of the three. One of my favourite things is if you are paragon enough and your speech is high enough, you can get the end boss to kill himself.
Nice.
You can get him to realise the folly of all of his ways. And you can actually get him to kill himself. You then get to fight the real main boss, but you know, it ties up the story in a really nice little bow.
Well, you just like convince him or make him really upset, or he look at the error of his ways and go, do you know what?
Yeah,
it wasn't worth it.
You've played, how many Mass Effect games have you played?
I have played some of the first one, not very far.
Okay, so basically the whole plot is that there are these aliens from outer. See, this is gameplay, is it? This is gameplay.
Well,
these aliens from outside of our solar system are coming back to kill everything, and they've taken over the main bad guy. They're controlling him the whole time, but they've done it through a slow brainwashing process. And if you have high enough skill and speech and everything, by the end, you can actually convince him what's truly happened, and he is legitimately a good. He's legitimately a good person, and he regrets everything that's happened. And he kills himself. That's really cool.
Oh, Bat Vision. Sorry, Detective Vision.
Yes.
Named after Basil, the Great Mouse Detective.
It is not named after Basil, the Great Mouse Detective. How many times do I have to tell you?
Once will do, I think.
He looks a bit
boss-eyed. Oh, is that guy from earlier? Or is this a flash forward to that? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, so I've linked that and that.
This is how detectives do it. Strings.
He got shot.
No, he's called Shot Cop because he takes a lot of shots.
He always brings a Sambuca.
He's often down with Bullock, just down at the bar, throwing back flaming Sambucas.
Yeah, Bullock's drinking problem is really an outside media kind of thing.
Outside media, does that refer to
not comic? Yeah.
You okay with the word comic? For the trade, are they trade paperbacks or what's a trade paperback? Is that a graphic novel? What is where? What's the line? What is what?
Okay, a comic, or if you will,
it's a cauliflower. Sorry, that's right.
Is your standard 24-page, or 22-page comic book? Okay, it can be longer.
Yeah, so I'm trying to work out a multiple of 4. Well, anyway, yeah.
However, I will quite happily call a trade paperback, which is a collection of things that contains comics. Okay. So that in and of itself is a complete story. I'd call that a comic as well. But I'd normally call it a trade or a paperback. Something like that.
Okay.
A graphic novel. Oh, it still wants me to do something else. Ah, here we go. Have a look in his pocket. Looting the corpses.
Oh, the old matchbook.
Absolutely.
Good God.
You don't think the writing of this was going to be clever, did you?
If ever there's a staple of the detective genre, it's finding the matchbook to the local club. Anyway.
A graphic novel.
One face.
Has historically always an extra length comic book released in a prestige format, be that a special binding or as a gameplay.
Oh!
What? That doesn't look remotely...
I know he's dead, but, still putting a thing in his head.
Isn't really shit Batman does.
I mean, originally I thought it was like a screwdriver or something. I didn't quite realise it was one of those bat gadgets.
It's just not shit Batman does. But anyway, so a graphic novel would be something bigger than a comic, ordinarily bigger than a comic, but would be released as almost like a special event. It was something special compared to a normal comic. Then it became a catch-all.
A what? A catch-all, yeah.
A catch-all, because you've got to realise that trade paperbacks were... I don't know what this
It's not that catchy a name, is it, trade paperback?
Collections really didn't massively take off until the early 2000s. They were around before then, but they were very few and far between compared to how they are now. Marvel basically at one point went, wait, why the hell are we not collecting all of this stuff? Because the nerds who buy the weekly comics don't want to keep getting out like 20 issues of Spider-Man every time they want a story. So why don't we just collect these together and they can have these on their bookshelves and they can keep reading them. And then, of course, people started collecting them as well. I'm one of these nerds. Let me just be very clear here, my brothers. Right, so I'm going to...
I'll take this moment to explain my history of Batman. It's very...
Right, so here's an unscorched area, which means...
Doesn't care, does he?
I've got to look over here for something that's not...
Well, you do that. This won't take long.
I have played this before.
I know. Will you find the thing?
Right, hang on.
So obviously I watched the 60s TV show. It was probably my first introduction to Batman. I remember there being comics about. Then the Burton film came out. Then the whole world went bat crazy.
Yeah.
And then there was the animated TV show, and there was the Mega Drive game I had, I think, at one point. And there was lots of things like that. And I, at that point, felt I knew everything, or most things about Batman. Quite a lot of the history, quite a lot of new stuff. Got into it quite a lot. Years went on. I bought the occasional comic here and there. I got to before either I left school or just after left school.
What sort of year are you talking?
So we are where I'm getting to now is about 95, 96, 97, something like that. So at this point, I don't know what there is now. I imagine it's still roughly the same, but there was about 5 different Batman comics out or more. There was the Catwoman, there was Robin, there was Shadow of the Bat, there was Detective Comics or something like that. There was quite a few different comics out, and I was getting quite a lot of them. And I actually did
what year did you say?
I'm guessing 90. We'll say 5. It's probably a bit later.
Okay, so it would have been Batman, Detective Comics, Shadow of the Bat,
Azrael.
Legends of the Dark Knight, Azrael. Well done. Catwoman, Robin, possibly Nightwing at this point.
I think that was about. I didn't get that one.
Birds of Prey probably would have been.
Didn't get that one. I did do a project, which I can't remember if it was a school or college or what, where I based it around Batman and did research into what people liked and what they saw about the covers and that. I faked the whole thing. I didn't actually go and survey anyone. I just made the whole thing up and just handed in the results as if some projects about research and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, that taught me a lot about the different comics. At that point, I can't remember what the general storyline at that point was, but so I ended up following an entire storyline through those comics.
Prodigal was Dick Grayson Batman.
Wasn't that one? The last, and then I came back to buy it. Then I left it a bit, and then I came back and bought another load of interlinked stories altogether, which was the Contagion one.
Yeah.
So it was whatever was before Contagion was probably the one I did first.
Prodigal.
It wasn't. I don't think maybe it was that one. I don't remember. And at that point, I thought I can't keep buying
these. It could have
these.
been Troika, which was only a 4-parter.
No, it was a long one.
Yeah, because basically there was Nightfall, Night Quest, Night's End.
No, I had the novel of those
Contagion,
ones.
Legacy.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Maybe I got into it for the novel of the Night Quest, Night's End, or that one. And then that made me read the comics, and then I thought there's too much, so I ended up buying the collected, whatever we call it, of some of the next couple, but then didn't buy any. And then left it for ages. And then came back with whatever, I suppose the Nolan films, I don't know. Which I think I went to see with you. No, I don't think I did see that with you.
The device has gone away. What, the Nolan movie?
I did. I don't think I saw it the first time with you. We were going to go and see... because this was kind of going to be my first date with my future, now past wife.
I was going to say with me.
No. There's you, her, me, her, you and Mark were all going out to watch, I think, like a replay at the cinema of the first Nolan Batman Begins, before they released the second one.
No way.
We went to see
your
it.
Timing's way off on that, because Batman Begins was 1995. The Dark Knight was
1985?
Sorry, 2005.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight was 2008, and The Dark Knight Rises was 2012. So it would have been Dark Knight Rises.
That makes sense. That does make... Yeah, you're quite right. So we were going to watch the double bill with the first two before the second one. But when we went to cinema, it wasn't on. And we ended up watching some film with your man from The Office in it. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Gervais?
No, The American Office.
Oh, imagine his face. I always go see his films. I'm a huge fan of his.
It's not Michael.
Steve Carell.
Steve, that's it. Thinking of Michael from The Actual Office. Yeah. That was a pretty good film, but it wasn't Batman. Anyway, but that also wasn't the Batman I thought it was. So there's a whole different story. But Batman has... Also, my first date ever...
Right, this is important.
No, my first date ever was to Batman.
Hang on.
The Burton one.
So, this has the option coming up.
Oh, yeah. Kill him.
No. Oh. Possibly does. I've never got that far. So, you up him up a little bit, you get him to talk. That's good Batmaning. However...
Whoop him upside the head with a steel pipe.
I'll make you talk. See? Scary Batmaning.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. Oh, getting closer. That's pretty scary.
It's not scary as the shadow being the same size as the light was just then, but yeah, probably.
See? This is all fine Batmaning.
Yeah.
Now...
Hit the thing next to him, the barrel.
That, to be fair, is his thing. But Batman would never just twat a guy who's all tied up and stuff.
What if he knew that he had just the right force to break the armor but not the guy?
To be fair, he could do a little bit of that. But basically at this point, he should be able to use his intimidation and his psychological know-how to be able to get what he needs out of the bad guy.
That's a big guy dressed as a bat with glowing eyes holding a metal pipe's quite intimidating.
Exactly.
What are the chemicals for?
However, if you see him wearing that, you're going to be like, who the hell is Thunder you? It's probably someone rich. Hey, Bruce Wayne's parents were killed when he was a child.
I recognise
it's probably
that chin.
him. And this is where it gets bad.
No! We don't put pressure on the arm.
Oh, you put a bit of pressure on the arm.
I don't, because I would break someone's arm.
It's just freaking him out.
I'm like a swan.
It's a little bit
Swan
more
man.
threat that you're going to hurt him. He doesn't tell you what you need.
I've held people's arms behind their back, and it's hurt them a lot more than I expected it would.
Break the arm.
I don't break anyone's arm. Do not break the arm, Batman. Do not break it. Back out.
You leave it as long as possible.
Back out.
And then he should have told you what you need to know.
That's a good Batman. And if we had subtitles, we'd know that.
If anyone chose break the arm there, you just don't know Batman very well. Now, I should have gone with disappear there, because I'm not sure where exactly in Batman's timeline this should be. But, you know,
I've seen Batman.
it's Gordon.
What you do now is you throw a poofy cloud and you disappear into the darkness.
Gordon has noticed my non-violent approach. Going after Falcone. You can't be nice to your allies. You cannot say, it's good to see you, Gordon. It has to be, I'm going after Falcone. He wouldn't be a jerk. He wouldn't say doing your job. But he would definitely just shrug off any pleasantries and say, I'm going to go feed out the bad guy now.
There we go. See, too late. Should have done it earlier. Poofy cloud and off. Don't worry though, Batman will return in the next part of Batman, the Telltale series. If you enjoyed this video, why not check out more on our channel? We play loads of games.